So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Susanne Schwab. I'm chair of this session, and I kindly ask all of the presenters and all of the audience members to take your seat. So it's a pleasure for me that I'm allowed to chair this session. On this slide, you can see the agenda. Just that you see, I will give a short introduction, and then we have in total 7 presentations, and I hope it will be a very exciting session for all of us. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm currently working as a full professor at the University of Vienna, and my specific field of interest is school pedagogy, with a specific emphasis on inclusive education. My special field of interests are inclusive schooling, but also students' participation and teachers' development. And as I'm a chair, I'm not allowed to present a project. I'm just allowed to present myself in a very few seconds. So I decided I present one of my by heart projects which might get your interest. It's about students' perception about social inclusion, school well-being, and also about their academic self-concepts. So just to let you know, if you're interested in this field of research, get in touch with me and I can tell you a lot about this project. It's the Perception of Inclusion questionnaire, and it's a questionnaire which is especially developed to assess students' voices about their own school experiences. So that's what's about me. Much more important are all the presenters in this session, and we will start with Adoración. She is from Spain, and as you can see on the slides, she brings a lot of different experiences and expertise with her. For example, she worked in the field of speech therapy, she is licensed in educational psychology, and she also got a diploma of specialized teacher by the University of Madrid. She has a doctorate in psychology, and she has acted as president and also vice president in several different associations, as, for example, in the Spanish Association for Logopedia. Our second presenter is from the Arab. Sabah has a high diploma in educational administration. She also did a 2-year study in theology, and she has also worked to go on with blind and visually impaired students, including them with sighted students in Arab special schools. The next presenter is Betül. She has a bachelor degree in international relations at the department at Hacettepe University. She studied also a Master of Arts for Gender and Women's Studies at the Middle East Technical University in Turkey. And the most important thing which you should know, she worked also at the Autism Foundation for 6 years. And that's also where she will speak about. Then we have 2 presenters in the next presentation, Marleen and Ilse. They both will present together, and you can also see on these slides that both of them brings a lot of experience. On the one hand, for example, Marleen has been a special needs teacher for a lot of years. She also worked as a coordinator in Flanders for supporting and advertising mainstream schools in their process of including students with autism spectrum disorders. And she also acted as an international trainer and consultant. And Ilse has graduated as a primary school teacher, and she brings a 15-year experience as working as a kindergarten teacher with her. In addition, she has, for example, a diploma in higher educational studies, and until now she's director of the primary school, which she will also talk about. The next 2 presenters are from Jordan. It's Noor and Amal, and also both of them brought really big experience with them. For example, Noor had a diploma degree in working with youth children. She has a bachelor degree in occupational therapy. She speaks and teaches Jordanian Sign Language. And for example, she worked also as an occupational therapist and support teacher. Amal, for example, has a bachelor degree in children education and a high diploma in learning difficulties, and she brings with her 17 years of experience in the educational field in Jordan. She is, for example, also a licensed coach for social emotional intelligence, and currently she works at the school where she will also talk about. Then the next presentation will be held by Özlem. Özlem is the founding president of the Living with Allergy Association, so that's also what her presentation will be about. And she brings with her a lot of experience in the field also of merchandising and recruitment. She also got a certificate from the Istanbul Technical University in Human Resources Management. And last but not least, there is Walter. Walter has 30 years of experience as a teacher in a special school. That's also the school he will talk about, where he acted as principal. And in addition, he is head of a so-called Center for Inclusive and Special Schooling in Austria. He participated also in a school trail on regular primary classes within special schools. And I would say he's kind of a leading expert in inclusive policy also in Austria. So that's our presenters. You all have them in mind, and you can see that they all bring a broad experience. We have quite a heterogeneous presenters here, and I hope you will enjoy all of their presentations. Thank you. So we can start with the first presenter. Maybe you just can start the first presentation. Yeah, thank you.
Good morning to everybody. I am very glad to be here to present the singularity of the educational project of Tres Olivos from Madrid. This project arrived from the collective of affected family, also from a professional perspective of teaching deaf students for 25 years, and from the knowledge of dealing with language and communication disorder. The two entities who created this are entender y hablar from the parents, that means understanding and speaking. It was created in 1975. And the Fundación Dales la Palabra, this means also gives them the voice, born in 1999. The Tres Olivos School is a state-subsidized school by the government of the Community of Madrid. We started from very early childhood education, and we go to high school, and we have also a vocational session training. But in the old school, 10% of the 1,100 students have a very important hearing impairment. For this project, a tailored support is provided to the student and also to the family by our staff. The staff is composed by 98 teachers, 7 speech therapists, and 2 deaf pedagogists. First of all, we have the staff to face the barrier. All teachers of the school and the staff, all teacher and all the staff, not only the teacher but also the secretary and so on, are training to understand deaf communicate difficulty. But the teacher are training to can work, communicate, and teach using bimodal, that means sign speak, and also cute speech. Cute speech is to help to avoid phonetic confusion at the lip reading level. The student hearing impairment are always in an ambience and environment that they understand everything they are learning and every interaction they have with the peer. The speech therapist team provide a tailored support to the teacher, and in addition, 2 deaf teachers who works in the school run weekly workshops on deafness of hearing family students. The other part, very important, is the individual intervention. This program is highly dependent on the early diagnosis of the child. It's important for us to know not only the deafness level, but also we need to identify abilities and or additional disorder. Anyway, the first step is to focus on the treatment of hearing deficit and to ensure that every child has the correct technical aids according to their individual needs. The more multi-handicap are present in a child, the more we insist the medical team to envisage the bilateral implant cochlear. To see some practical information, that means that we start around 4 or 6 months. We always start with developing communication strategy, like with bimodal and with Q-speech, but at the same time, auditory training takes also a very important part of the therapy to develop and to ensure an oral communication. You can see in the pyramid that at the age of 0 to 3 years, they receive an average of 8 to 9 individual rehabilitation sessions per week, and one of these sessions is with the family's attendance. Then, when they arrive to 5 to 14 years, they receive between 4 or 7 individual sessions according to the individual evolution, and at least we finish with 3 sessions per week. The school is accessible to any person. All classrooms are equipped with computer. The speech therapist team analyze first the degree of the impairment, then the classroom's operating mode and the communication use. And they do all these things before they're recommending the use of complementary electroacoustic aids in a learning situation. For example, the teacher uses an FM, that's mean a modulate frequency, HAT system device, a microphone attached to her that transmits her voice directly to the hearing aids. Thus, we help them understanding speech better in noise and over distance. Improving the intelligibility of speech, we promote the possibility of inclusion in an ordinary school environment. Parents are always informed about the use of the device. The school, the Tres Olivos school, promotes a noise-free environment. All the classrooms are built with sound-absorbing material and equipped with sound level meters that indicate when the ambient noise is exceeded an acceptable level. A traffic light is used to control the sound level in each classroom. I bring it with me, and it will be a session this afternoon, a demonstration in the school ceremony. We are all aware of the importance of the noise-free environment, but not only for the deaf, but it's important also for every hearing student. For this approach, Each year, we participate in the International Noise Awareness Days. The students do works about the importance to control noise and expose them to the rest of the community that we can see on the picture. We have also a very important part of the project is the family assessment. The parents attend school session, they follow the program Algo que decir, that means something to say. They fill in an observation protocol that helps them interpret their child's reaction in everyday life situation. And they learn also support strategy of the communication like bimodal and skewed speech. They have frequently meeting with other parents. All these measures that I have explained contribute to the success of the education and exclusive experience of Stress Oliver School. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. If there are any short questions just for understanding this specific presentation, there would be a few seconds now. So please raise your hand and ask the question if there is something directly related to this presentation. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yeah, please.
Sorry, yes, my name is Liz. I'm from London. What's the reaction of other children to the noise-free environment? It's difficult to imagine a school that is noise-free when children are lively and so on. I just wondered how that is managed.
Well, we have a lot of, the program is not only the traffic light. You know, we put the traffic light in a very early age because I think you have to educate, to control the voice and the noise. And when you start with a child with 3 years, and we have this kind of device until 7 years, because if you do it during 4 years, then the child are used and they communicate with a voice who is not so hard, and they protect the peer, the deaf children. We have also take care about the table, the chair, the pencil, and so on. So it's really all the community. It's sensitive to its training to control the noise. And what we say to the other parents, because we have 1,000 child who are not deaf, is that it's a benefit for everybody, because when you are in a noise environment place, at the end of the afternoon, then you have had that. You also don't understand so good the teacher. You forget part of what they teach and so on. So it's a very positive advantage for the inclusion for the hearing child. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Adoración, and we will directly move on with our next presenter, Sabah. It's your time now. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sabah Al-Zraiqat. I'm from Jordan, Jordanian. First of all, I would like you all to thank you all that here you are coming to hear us. And I would like to thank also Zero Projects for the opportunity was given to us to speak about our project. Arab Episcopal School is mainly the pastoral charity of Arab Episcopal Church in northern of Jordan. Its mainly aim to including visual impaired students, blind, low vision, with sighted all together, hand to hand in one place, to develop students' educational characteristics and social capabilities, to develop them and include them in the society. As a result of that, we are having 2 teachers of our students who were before to be part of us in Arab Episcopal School, Lina and Isra. In future, we aim for establishing vocational center for those who are less education, at least to help them to have a career in future. In addition to emphasis of concept of peace education, and we are likely always speaking about concept of peace education, we are talking about democracy, human rights, saving environment clean, and also we're talking about the values of peace, which is love, respect, and respect others. In Arab Episcopal School, we believe in that inclusion is the basis of lifelong equality. So, children who are used to learn together will respect and will live each other in future. We respect diversity, and we respect all the kids and all the differences between them. History of Arab Episcopal School. Until 2003, the only school for blind and low vision students is in Amman. And Amman is the capital city of Jordan, which was located in the middle of Jordan, far away from Irbid, where we are 100 kilometers at least. So, children, blind student, has to wait home until he becomes 6 years old to go to Amman to have a chance to educate or to have education. Here, our Episcopal Church get the things and the aim that we have to start of establishing Arab Episcopal School in Irbid to serve those who Jesus called them little brothers. So we opened school by 2003 with a kindergarten with 3 rooms. Year after year, schools grow up, and now we are having until 210, we have 6th grade, and we are having more 15 rooms. Every year we adding more classes. Since 2014 until now, we are having 10th grade classes with a playground, computer lab, science lab, library, and these all classrooms and facilities for our students. And here it's good to mention the all efforts from all friends around us, especially our beloved Prince, His Royal Highness Prince Marleen. He always with us, and he always supports us with all he could, and he helped us. So, Arab Episcopal School was grow yearly, year after year. Achievements. We have been working to provide our students with all materials and facilities they need for education. We have materials doing by our hands. We have our own classrooms. Working with that, we're opening Braille Teaching Center for our students, families, society, and teachers also, and in addition for the pre-kids, believing that starting with pre-ages, 2.5 years, will work more if you want to work with disabilities. And also, because the increasing number of students, the number of teachers was increased. Having blind and low vision students, this means you will have 3 teachers at least in one class. Main teacher, assistant teachers, and Braille blind teachers for helping them with teaching Braille. So this is making a large number of teachers. By 2003, when we start, we are 33 students. Now we are 280 students. By 2003, we are having 3 teachers with 1 blind teacher. Now we are 54 teachers with 5 blind teachers. Number is increasing always. Arab Episcopal School won a Middle East Award, 2009, for the good practice in teaching for the Middle East. In Arab Episcopal School, also we believe in saving energy as we talk about peace education. For that, we are having, and we built our solar system cell in 1917. Headmistress and teachers are having several conferences for disabilities to provide ourselves with more and more information with inclusion. We believe in Arab Episcopal School. We celebrate that We believe that inclusion is not only between disabilities, but also between religions. So that we have Muslims and Christians, and we have many activities and many events, non-education and religious events we're celebrating together. We celebrate Christmas, Eid al-Adha, Mother's Day, and graduation, and also we're celebrating the Independence Day of Jordan. And it's good to mention that in all these activities, all the blind and the low vision and the sighted students together hand to hand. Challenges, general challenges. No chance of getting education for visually impaired students in northern of Jordan until we have our school now. Ignorance, due to that, ignorance and blemish culture in the families and society. Always, family was feel shame to having disability child. For that, they keep them home without sending him for learning or educate. Insufficient awareness of the idea of conclusion. For that, we are doing many meetings and cultures before having the first blind student in the school. We also having lack sources. We are also facing a problem in qualified teachers, auxiliary tools, and the main issues of challenges that covering the financial needs. And it's good to mention here that our blind students, they don't pay fees. The church was cover everything. Also, we have challenges, and always, every year, we have to have enough spaces and enough classrooms. Future plan, we aim to provide our better facilities for all our students. And also to having more classes for ending them with the secondary level, so having 11 and 12 grades, and also emphasizing with peace education and also the vocational training center for those who are less education, I said before, to help them to have a career. So, Arab Episcopal School will continue and will keep in her service and with all our love for all our students. We have a short film, explain our vision in 2 minutes. Please, if we could possibly show it together. Thank you.
A dark hand touching a light hand, a young face looking into an old, all people working together for a goal to be told. A shout comes out from the open. Peace. Peace, oh peace. A heart understanding another. A soul reaching out to a soul. That's peace.
All people putting aside their differences. Let a footstep falling on sand. Walk in peace, oh peace. A heart understanding another. A soul reaching out to the soul. That's peace. Say now, everybody sing it with me now. Peace, oh peace. A heart understanding another.
Thank you very much. There is a hardcover of the presentation. It's in the entrance, who likes or interesting to have it. And also we have printed Braille one also for the one who likes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sabah. If there are any questions related to this school project we have seen, then there would be a good time slot to post your questions now. Yes, please. Sorry to interrupt you. Can you switch your microphone on, please?
Hello.
Great, thanks. I'm sorry, but we still cannot hear. I don't know if the microphone is not working.
Okay. When I observe the pictures, I see the deaths of the children. They are really high.
Hello. Sorry.
Okay.
There seems to be a problem with the microphone. We are sorry.
I don't know. Okay.
Now we can hear you. Yeah, it's great
All right.
now.
I'm
Thanks.
saying I see the pictures, deaths of the children, they are whole high, and we found that there is a children with the short stages. How are they access sitting in the classroom? Thank you.
We put our blind students in the same circumstance of the sighted students. So the same desk they are sitting on the sighted, they are used it with the blind. It's the same things. We don't found any problem with their sitting. But in the small ages, yes, they sit as a group with a blind teacher in a small table, but inside the classroom. But they are using the same seats. If I get this.
Yeah, I'm meaning the children with the short stages. You find in different countries, there's children that born short, not tall. When they sit, and desk cannot reach unless you sit down. I didn't see in the picture. That's why I'm asking for you. Thank you.
No, I don't found it's a problem with our kids. They sitting comfortable and they never they said there is something wrong with the seats. Sorry.
Thanks a lot by keeping an eye on the time. Thanks a lot, Sabah. And we move on to our next presenter. It will be Betül.
Hello everyone, my name is Betül. I am coming from Turkey on behalf of Tohum Autism Foundation. Tohum Autism Foundation was established in 2003 to ensure and advocate the rights of children with autism, particularly right to education and health. Since its establishment, the foundation has implemented many projects. Today I'd like to share our experiences gained by the project Disability Rights in Education, Together in School, Together at Life. The project is implementing since 2017 with the support of Sabancı Foundation from Turkey. And this year, Kahane Foundation became another supporter of the project. At this point, special thanks to Zero Conference because it is the result of being at the Zero Conference last year. In Turkey, it is estimated that there are nearly 2 million children with disability aged between 3 and 18. But only 350,000 children with disability can access the education. In other words, nearly 1.7% of all children with disability are in education system. Furthermore, the quality of education is incomparable for these children, particularly in regular schools. One of the main reasons of that include children with disabilities from the education system is discriminative attitudes of teachers, school managers, society, families, even non-disabled children. They tend to see that the main problem is children with disability. She or he cannot learn due to his disability. However, according to the main principle of inclusive education, the problem is not children. The main problem is the system around the children. In this sense, we implemented this project to increase awareness about inclusive education in Turkey. Within the scope of the project, we prepared a teacher training program aims to change their discriminative behaviors and strengthen their inclusive education perspective. Also, many activities for students have been prepared to support teachers in the classroom. The main of these activities is to identify the term diversity as a value in schools as well as at life. All these materials have been added into a teacher's guide. Now we are working on establishment on inclusive school models, which is unique for the Turkey. This model includes teacher trainings, training materials for students, teacher-family activities, and joint activities for disabled and non-disabled children. Now, we started to negotiate with Ministry of National Education and put efforts to integrate our model into national education system. And we continue to disseminate all these outputs throughout the country with the partnership Sabancı and Kahane Foundation. Thank you very much for listening.
Thanks a lot. Are there any questions from the audience? Doesn't seem right now. If any questions come up later. Oh, there is one question. I'm sorry. Yes, please. Oh, I don't think there was a question. Is there any question?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Hello, I'm Bertha from Northeast India. It was mentioned that the foundation does training of teachers. How do you get these teachers for the training? And do these teachers belong to government schools or private schools? Thank you.
Thank you for the questions. They belong to government schools. We pilot these studies in Istanbul in 2 pilot schools. We visit all schools, nearly many schools in Istanbul, and tell our projects and our aims. And according to their volunteers, we choose the teachers, but all of them are working on government schools.
Thank you.
Okay, there is another question. Yes, please.
German Weber from Vienna. My question is, what is about the vast majority of children who are not in the educational system in Turkey?
Sorry, can I get translation support from my college?
Sunumun başında 3 milyon öğrencinin büyük bir kısmının okula gitmediğini söylemiştin. Gitmeyenlerin durumuyla ilgili soruyor. Nerede eğitim alıyorlar veya şu an durumuyla ilgili bilgi var mı?
Eğitim almıyorlar. Şu an kayıtlı olarak 350 bin öğrenci eğitim sisteminin içerisinde.
There are only 350,000 students enrolled in schools. So the vast majority, they are not in any education system.
Yeah, most probably they are at home.
Maybe some private education centers.
Yani özel ve devlet okullarının tamamı 350 bin ve tüm engel grupları için geçerli.
Okay, so I was wrong. There are no students in any private education centers. These are the number for private and government schools.
Thanks a lot, and we will move on to our next two presenters. It will be Marleen and Ilse.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank the Zero Project for giving us the opportunity to introduce you to a very good practice. It actually is in a very small school, a mainstream school situated in a city in East Flanders, and Flanders is a part of Belgium. Now, my organization works with 2,000 schools, so what made me choose their school as a good example? Now, first of all, they never say no to a child. You know, yesterday at a debate, we heard somebody say that it has to be a real thing if you say everybody's welcome. Well, this is reality in their school. Secondly, and this principal, whom I admire very much, she has broken down a lot of traditional structures, traditional work methods, and literally even broke down walls to make her team be able to work in the way they do. But let's find out together. What she will do is she will give us a short description of the school. She will share the foundations of her work, and then it's back to me with some conclusive remarks. So the floor is yours, Ilse.
Thank you, Marleen. As Marleen said, we are a mainstream school with about 25 teachers and about 200 pupils, with more than 45 at this moment, about 50 nationalities, with ages from 2.5 to 12. The school is located in a disadvantaged part of the town and has a large diversity. We are confronted with different special needs, children with different disabilities, poverty, and changing population. The foundation of our work is based on a strong school vision. We had to think about that very well. Every child is welcome. We also find it important, the talent-based education. Not only mathematics or languages are important, but every child has his own talents and has different talents. We try to discover and develop talents of children. We also work with mixed-aged flexible groupings. We literally broke down walls. We work with big groups, about 45, 46 children, and each group has at least 3 teachers. We put a focus on independent work, problem-solving skills, and we have a buddy system that really works well. We also think it's important to work on a flexible curriculum. Every child has his own learning path in the general curriculum. And we also think it's important that there is a high levels of involvement of staff, parents, and children. And we also go international. At this moment, we have an Erasmus Plus project, and we are having an exchanging program with a school in Ireland and in Spain.
Okay. So it's back to me again. It's back to me again. Now, of course, Ilse had to be very short in her explanation, and I'm sure that when during breaks or the lunch pause, you can go and ask questions about their really good system. They have a special model they use to find out the talents of the children. So I think they are welcome to talk to you, right? Now, I have to stress the fact that this school doesn't have any high-tech resources. They do not have nice buildings. As a matter of fact, they are very old building, yeah? And the neighborhood is rather poor, so the circumstances that they have to do their work are not really optimal, but the team is great. And the whole team is convinced of the growth mindset. I think most of you are familiar with this. It actually means that the team fully believes that every child has the potential to grow, that every child has a talent, and it's their job to find out the talent, and this is what they are doing. The team also, and I think that's also very important, they never become like that they think they reached their optimal work. So they always are very critical to themselves. They always try to improve, and that makes them also very critical, but I think it's a very important, let's say, characteristic of the team, and so they keep on growing, and now they go international. Now finally a word to you, Ilse, and your team. I hope you will keep on doing this work. It's very valuable, and thank you for that. And I give the floor back to you now.
Thank you, Marleen. It's very nice to hear that. Finally, we would like to take you for a few moments into our school, so I hope you can enjoy it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Are there any questions related to this presentation? Yes, please. Yes, please. Yeah, it's you.
Hello? Okay. I've been listening to all the presentations, and I was wondering, wouldn't an inclusive school have disability in the curriculum? In other words, do you teach about disability in the regular education classes? Otherwise, aren't we just teaching all children to fit into a society which doesn't include or mention disabled people?
It's our reach, or it's our aim to reach the goals for everyone. But sometimes we need to adapt it in a curriculum. So we are looking to the children. We see what their level is, and then we work on it, individual. But we have 3 teachers for one group, so we can work in levels.
Can I add something? Because I don't know if you really understood your question very well. You are talking about there's this general curriculum that is the goal for everybody, and how you do this with your children with disability. Was that your question?
Not really. It's like I'm working in America. My name's Alan Holdsworth. So a black student would know who Martin Luther King was, but a disabled student wouldn't know who Justin Dart was. So what I'm trying to say is that within the curriculum, why aren't we including the experience of disabled people outside in society and the achievements? Why aren't they being put into maybe the social studies curriculum or the history curriculum, so that all students realise that disabled people are already contributing to society in different ways?
I think it's a good and very important question, and maybe if you agree with that, we can postpone this discussion at the end, because I think especially our last presenter will have important aspects which might increase the discussion on that point. So if it's fine with you, please re-ask your question by the end of the last presenter, because then I think it would be something we can discuss maybe even all together. Thank you. Great. Okay, so then we will move on to our next presenters. It's Noor and Amal.
Thank you. Thank you, Susanne. Good evening, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be with you all. Thank you for Zero Project for the great platform and opportunity to share our model of inclusion. Alliance Academy Jordan is a school that was established in 2014, 6 years ago. We're still small, we're still very young, but we grow so fast. We believe that we exist here to provide excellent education in a loving, caring, and inclusive environment. We exist where everyone can grow holistically to make a positive impact on their community. Our mission, we're seeking, and our vision for our community in which all children feel valued. The need for inclusive education in Jordan is really huge. Very few schools chose this road because it's hard and non-profitable. We start up this vision as we, as a Christian school, believe that God is inclusive, and we were born all equal together. And it's our role to pass His love, unconditional love, through inclusive education to every single child, regardless of his needs, health, intelligence, and financial status. AAJ model of inclusive is very unique, and it's easy to be replicated. I hope you'll enjoy our practice And we're here to listen to you, to work together and learn from each other. And my friend, Ms. Noor Sawalha, will explain more to you and will be available anytime to work together.
Our job to ensure providing all support to facilitate and make teaching least restrictive for kids with special needs. Students are not labeled inside the classroom. We provide support teaching by specialists who work together with the teacher inside the classroom. AAJ is unique because we provide academic support in the three main subjects, Arabic, English, and Math, for the students. All the students can be beneficial from having the support teacher inside the classroom. We're providing the academic support. We established early intervention for the KG students and by specialists, and working with the kindergarten students to improve their cognitive, perceptual, and motor skills. AAJ provides therapy sessions for the students with special needs, also any student who in need to have any therapy sessions. So we provide occupational therapy, speech and language, and physical therapy. Believing that all the students need to learn, and in order to prepare large segment of people who use sign language, we started Tawasul initiative, communication in using sign language. So we learn and teach sign language for our students. On each student, we use family-centered approach, working with the families, parents, especially mothers. So we created the mother support group. Mothers for the students with special needs work together and support each other. So they became more accepted to their kids' needs and situation, and find ways to easily introduce their kids to the society. Mother Support Group sponsored annual event for Autism Awareness Day, and they light the school up by the color blue. Okay. And they do awareness gatherings and meetings together for the society and for the other people also to introduce their kids and how do they work together with the society. Also, AAJ influenced the students, so they became more accepted. They help each other. Sabah is a kid with cerebral palsy who wished to have accessible swing for him. He shared the idea with his friend, and they started to raise the fund to buy him accessible swing. So they made big sale, as you see in the picture, and they provided him an accessible swing. AAJ has influenced Jordan. AAJ was a part of the 10-year strategy for inclusive education in Jordan, developed by Ministry of Education and the Higher Council for the Rights of Persons with Disability. The strategy was launched on January 15. AAJ is a model of inclusion, as Prince Murad pronounced the school. Also, Prime Minister said that AAJ is an exceptional school. Rashid is a KG student who had spina bifida with minimal hope ever to walk. He walked and to get his certificate, the graduate certificate. Muhammad was not verbal student and no school accepted him. Now he's able to communicate and talented in music. AAJ is not for-profit school. Also, AAJ bill depends on donation. As you see in the picture, the sensory gym that support all the students is donated by a lady to funded. All the academic support that we do is for free for the student. Some of the students with the special needs pay some additional fees for having a learning aid. Okay. We need all the support that we can get to continue and help more students to be included in our school. Financially, training the teachers also in tool and equipment. Our next step, open our department as a center to serve special needs students in the local community. Establish a rehabilitation program to help students find their career path in future. Become internationally accredited school in special needs teaching, and establishing support for parents in English language, because we are inclusive school, accredited international school also, that most of the people in the society doesn't speak English, so some parents need help with their kids in English. That's what we are thinking about. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for this presentation. Are there any questions? Doesn't seem to me right now. Just ask your questions later in the break, for example, if something pops up to you later. And I think we are going directly on and moving to our next presenter. It will be Özlem. No, other direction.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm the president of Living with Allergy Association, which has been established by 16 families as Turkey's first and only association of allergic patients. Among our members, there are families of children with respiratory allergies, asthma, atopic dermatitis, food allergy, latex, venom, drug allergies, and rare allergic disease. Our aim is to make our children access the right diagnosis and the right treatment in equal conditions and increase the quality of their daily lives. Thus, we need to ensure their health, but taking necessary precautions, especially in educational institutions and social areas. Within 3 years, we have reached over 40,000 families. We provide them information and psychosocial support, and we run awareness campaigns reaching over 12 million people in our country. Allergic diseases are affecting more than 1 billion people worldwide. With an epidemic rise, the prevalence is expected to be 4 billion in only 3 decades. It remains largely unknown, but severe allergic patients are eligible for disability reports. As a global problem, disabilities are usually neglected by the society and the policymakers. However, invisible disabilities, like food allergy or asthma, are usually considered as a personal choice of avoidance from certain triggers that can only cause mild symptoms, right? Such as a cough or a simple sneeze, or just an itch on the skin. No, unfortunately, we as a patient organization witness many children with severe allergies that the disease lowers their life quality significantly and even putting their lives at risk. The prevalence of food allergy in our country is 6%, which means 1 in every 17 children. In other words, at least 1 child in every classroom. Some of these children carry risk of anaphylaxis, a severe and life-threatening reaction. On the other hand, our city, Istanbul, which has 18 million population, has a high air pollution rate, 3.3 times of the safe barrier declared by WHO. This caused a high prevalence in the childhood asthma. Besides, global climate change has a big impact on the rise of chronic disease, especially allergy and asthma. Allergic children are often receive rejection from the early childhood facilities due to their medical diet, risk of death in anaphylaxis, and continuous medical treatment for asthma. These children lack 2 basic but major life activity, breathing and eating freely. On top of these, they lack the right to receive an early childhood education. In 2018, Kartal municipality decided to build a special kindergarten for these children to set an example. We volunteered to provide them guidance during establishment and execution. This kindergarten demonstrates that precautions are not difficult to take, while evoking not only child development, but also the importance of work-family balance and woman-labor force attachment. Our kindergarten is designed and built for children with severe allergies. Classrooms are furnished allergen-free, air quality and humidity are monitored and kept within the safe limits. The ventilation system has special filters to raise indoor air quality. Textile objects are avoided for dust mite growth. No heavy chemicals are used for cleaning. School lunch is prepared according to the children with full allergies. We recruit a certificated nurse. She and all the other teachers are educated to administer the epinephrine auto-injector in case of an anaphylaxis. Emergency action plans are available in each classroom. The garden contains plants producing the least pollen. The children grow their own vegetables and fruits. Families are obliged to pay a very low fee for a full day care, including breakfast, lunch, snacks, books, and educational tools. Families with very low income are able to enroll their children free. Besides providing a safe and healthy environment, the kindergarten also provides a high quality of education. Children have science, music, art lessons, and sport activities to increase their lung capacity. As a scientific fact, we know that physical activities may increase the lung capacity by 15%, which may lower the number of asthma attacks during the school year. We value globalization, and in order to raise world citizens, we start English lessons at the age of 5. We live in a territory where setting priorities is difficult and challenging. Therefore, it's vital to receive support from media to spread success stories. Our opening ceremony was broadcast live on a national TV channel. 62 news have been published since then. We have been selected as Turkey's changemakers by Sabah Fundación and filmed by CNN Turkey. This boosted our project's visibility and even brought us here today. When a safe school setting and school staff awareness are established, we have monitored no anaphylaxis, no severe asthma attack, less hospitalization, reduced healthcare costs, increased school attendance, no social isolation or bullying, reduced parental anxiety, developed sense of security and positive behavioral changes in children and consequently in their families. The impact was evaluated by the interviewing both parents and children during the school year by volunteering psychologists. The biggest impact on children was to see how their self-esteem, confidence, independence, and creativity can thrive. When given the opportunity, they have no difficulty to flourish. It's highly important to establish cooperations between local government and NGOs. Kartal district has over 460,000 population, and Kartal mayor, Mr. Gökhan Yüksel, is the youngest mayor in Istanbul. He is setting a role model by investing in early childhood education, female workforce, and disabled community. Actually, he's here with us today, emphasizing how a single decision and an act may lead such a big impact on the future. Leaving his busy schedule and responsibility behind, he is here as a mayor to search for new ways of making better policies and embracing disabled community. We thank him and his team for this exemplary approach. It's easy to build walls, it's easy to make buildings, it's easy to name them as schools. But it's important to start initiatives which are reliable, sustainable, and easily replicable. What we mean by replication here is not to build spatial schools, but we mean all schools to get converted and become inclusive. We believe we have done the undone, and we would like to thank Zero Project team for giving us this opportunity to speak the unspoken. These kids are among us. They're rising in number every day, lacking a safe school area to be nourished physically and mentally. We believe early childhood education is every child's right, despite any disadvantage they carry. And we would love to support any present or future initiative in this area. So please do spread the word. Thank you for listening.
Thanks a lot for the presentation. Are there any questions?
Dear Susanne, can we do something else? Can I ask a question to the audience? Okay, let's do something else. I want to ask everyone, each of you here in this room, before this presentation, did anyone among you knew that allergy and asthma, children with allergy and asthma are considered as disabled? Did anyone knew it? There is only one, two. I only see 2 hands up. So I would like to thank Zero Project again, that we need to understand what disability is first. It's like invisible disabilities are usually neglected even with the communities who are already aware of disability. So we need to pay more and more attention to that. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I think now the number of people which are aware of this fact has increased immensely just within this audience. Yes. So thanks a lot, and we move on to our final presenter. And Walter, it's your time now.
Welcome. Thank you very much for this invitation. As I heard on Tuesday in the Austrian Parliament, a special school career is not a very good option for children to grow up as a member of an inclusive society. And I'm a director of a special school in Upper Austria. And the project I want to talk about is a result of a local development. It is a reaction of new conditions after change in school laws in 1992. We have, with special schools, separating conditions in public schools, and they have special features. It is required for children to have a disability diagnosis by ICD-10. This is still actual, and special schools are therefore not open for regular students, but only for children who have a present disability. It is divided into 10 kinds of 10 sections. Depends on the kind of disability. The parish over several local communities is necessary, and several school laws. I think it has 7 or 8 different laws that regulate school business. So it's not so easy to change things within this system. Of course, we have specialized expertise of teachers, and they work mostly in teamwork, supported by assistants. This type of school still excludes children with disabilities from inclusive education programs. And school attendance for children without disabilities is not possible in the regular way. So how to open a special school for all children? Our school experiment started in 1992 because an amendment of law changed the situation. Public schools were opened for children with disabilities, but not for all. And so the special schools transformed to rest schools, especially for children with very severe disabilities. We started in 1992 at the first school in Austria, at the first special school in Austria, who took regular public, regular pupils for a ground school, first primary sector, and mixed them, made classes we call integration classes, not inclusion. That is a fault in the translation from the UN convention, I think. So we started with the first class. Teachers and parents were educated for new concepts. We took main concepts from Maria Montessori because she was very, very great and important for different offers for different and mixed groups. Rooms were adapted for different use, and now we have classes up to 25 students, mixed children with disabilities, children without disabilities, and the inclusive teaching became standard in our school, in the whole school. Of course, school authority has to approve every year if everything's okay. The school experiment inclusive classes in special schools started in Gmunden, and it is specific for Upper Austria. All in all, 10 of 26 special schools in Upper Austria have this experiment. The other special schools are still schools for children with disabilities. The impact, the success, not so easy, because sometimes we are in a semi-legally way to do the best for our children, because they are so different, and that's something we like, and that's something that is, children are like we are, very different. The special needs require special offers, and the heterogeneity requires individual teaching. So we started to work with free labor exercises that causes a high competence of observation, and that is not so easy for some teacher just to be observer, because they want to measure, they have to, it's not so easy for all to see children learn without doing something as a teacher. And this time some colleagues left our school because they could not work like this, but now it's okay. The personal effort leads to a direct feedback, also a result of Montessori's ideas. The cooperation between the different systems, we have still classes, very small groups with severe handicapped disabilities, because they need small groups, they need special support, but whenever it is possible, they are together with regular pupils in the school. So that's meant with different systems. The common school projects guarantee intensive contacts, and what we started 6 years ago, we mixed the grades in the class. So we have groups from 6 to 10 years in one class with and without disabilities. That was the main benefit in our system. And of course, curriculum and assessment criteria are, as it's possible without leaving the law, adapted for our school. Beside inclusive classes, as I told you, we have the small groups for children, and at any time we can choose the best form of teaching. The varied offers can be used whenever it is necessary. And these groups, for example, as we heard already yesterday, are used as arguments why we need still special schools, and we show that the opposite is a better idea. The special offers for special children benefits we call studios or ateliers. The main impact, all children experience community with other children in their age group, and they are always in contact with spoken language. We offer for different needs, offers also include children with severe disabilities, teaching outside of class communities, presence of other children enlarges mobility for all, And what is very important, they are surrounded by active speech, and if they are in a regular special school, they have, in the worst case, no active speech anymore. 2 minutes is not so good. So a short impression, learning in a regular setting. As we know from integration classes, I say integration because it means complete difference to inclusion. That is something we should reach in a few years. This is an impression during a studio. This girl is 13 years old, the small one, and supported by an assistant. She is part of a group during studio. We offer also cooking and sports and things like that. This is an example for switching. The left side, the left photo is part of a basal stimulation, and the right part, different content depending on the individual need. And between those things they can switch, and that's a great, great benefit. Current challenges, the school experiment, the school experiment was terminated in 2017 and a new replacement was installed by local government. Exception approval is still needed. Parents prefer the alternative pedagogic concepts, but they still must register they are not disabled children. That leads to the situation that this year I have 46 children on the registration, but can only take 20 regular students. That is not so good idea. And the secondary grade is missing completely. Outlook, special schools it's nothing new. Special schools are an excellent location for experiments. We need expansion to secondary school. We need a common school to obtain a good combination. We heard that Austrian has a very expensive system, and we afford 3 different kinds of secondary schools. So no money is no reason in that content. Inclusive teaching must come standard, and the parliament that's asking, they have to do something. Everything is clear. The target is the Article 24 of the UN Convention. There are many examples how it can fit. I'm sure that there is scalability. My team and parents, especially my children, have the courage and the heart to stand up for minority. They have learned they belong together. We will see slowly but continuous. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks for your presentation. Are there any questions with regards to this special school? Yes, please.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm here.
Oh, yes.
It's really a fairy tale, what you just said, the history. I mean, it's wonderful. And my question is, how did you work with the opposition of parents of students with special needs, and also the other parents of students without special needs, how they overcome their prejudices? Thank you.
Thank you for this question. It was absolutely no question in that time, because as I told, 1992 we started this project. Parents came together with teachers to the education of Montessori pedagogic. They wanted to open the system, parents of children that are not disabled. So this was the fairy tale, because and they were very courageous parents. They gave their non-disabled children in a special school, and we decided to start a complete new system. And the thing was, we know they do not want to visit our school because they love to be with children with disability, but they like the complete alternative education and exercises. As we work, they have time. We have the first grade of when the children come to school, there is no homework, there is no book, there is no, of course children need to make something, but we do not force them. And that's the thing that Montessori left. She had a very, very clear sight to children and their personal, individual environment. So this does not fit to that curriculum we had to fill. That's what hurts, so that we have to, the last years, what happened in Austrian school laws. So I'm very glad to sit here and talk about this. But the thing is that we are an important school for our area, and we have much, much more parents who want to bring their children to us than the way around. There was no discussion about, I don't want this.
Okay, there was another question. Yes, please.
Yes, I'm Leopoldine from Namibia. You have indicated that you have 26 inclusive schools and a lot of special schools. The special schools, that is not advocated for in terms of the UN Convention. And are you planning to go full inclusion, since you only have 26 inclusive schools among the many schools that you have? And then what is the teacher-learner ratio like in Austria? And you have as well indicated that you would like to expand, to increase your expansion to secondary, because secondary education for children with disability is very limited in Austria. What are your plans? Because some of these challenges are the challenges that we are experiencing in Namibia, and then we would like to know if you have advanced, if it's something that we can replicate back when we go back home.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
The 26 schools are special schools in Upper Austria. This is a part of Austria where I come from. And from this 26 schools, 10 have regular classes. So 16 schools in Upper Austria, and in Austria much more, do not have regular classes, do not have inclusive systems on their school. That's something I try to discuss since many years, because we do not fulfill the Article 24 of the UN Convention. It's a question of who is able to solve these things. It's not the money, as I imagine. It's some very old things that are grown in Austrian school history. And as I told, we have 3 different systems for secondary schools. Those who are able to, let me be polemic, those who are able to write and read visit the gymnasium. The rest visits the new Mittelschule or Hauptschule, and the rest from the rest is in the special schools. And there is a certain direction, it is a political decision, a certain direction that is convinced if you bring those systems, those children together, the best will have negative results. It's a very expensive system, I'm sure, but secondary schools, to bring an inclusive system like we do in the primary school, just for 4 classes, is impossible if we do not have a common school for our children with 10 to 14 years. So as long as we divide them, we don't even have to think of inclusive system in secondary school. I'm sure that there are many, many countries much farther and much more intensive on the way than we are here in Austria. But we don't give up.
Thank you a lot. Okay, coming to the end of this session, there is just one open question left. Unluckily, the person who addressed the question left the audience, but still, I think his question was around disabilities in the curriculum, and I think we have seen now a quite good example where we don't have to put the facts of disability in the curriculum if we are just all together, because then we can learn hand by hand what it means having a disability. So I hope the question is maybe answered within all of the presentations, and I see there is another question. Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Brigitte Heider. I'm from Parents International, and I have a question to all presenters. Are your schools, are your kindergartens and all what you offered, and it was really great. Are they open for all children from all families? What I mean is, are they open also for ethnic or religious minorities, for migrant families, for refugee families, and so on. Thank you.
About our school, Arab Episcopal School in Irbid, yes, it's for all. As I said before, we believe in inclusive not only with disabilities, but also for all. So we have Christians, we have Muslims, we have Syrian, because we are close to the border for the Syria refugees camps. We are saving all. We just tell the parents, just you bring your kids to our school and he will have educated. And this is free without paying any fees. So it's for all, from our school, yes. Thank you.
In our country, in Spain, it's different because the law obliges every school to take to reserve two places in each class for disabled people. So if you have if you have 25 people, you have to keep at least two for disability people, for law. So you are obliged to attend the disability in an ordinary school. But what we can do is to make some specialized teaching, because what we say, it's not the same to have all the structure to attend blind than to attend deaf, and then you need also, and we heard that during all this morning, we need very prepared team. We need a high level of preparation team. And sometimes when I go to the ministry, I say when you go to an hospital, you have different level and no the same person is not in the same floor. If you have something in your heart, you don't have in your head, and you need specialists. And the inclusion is very, very important to give them the possibility later on to have a normal social life and to work in a normal, ordinary place. But they need, and we are obliged to give them the best opportunity with the disability they have. We cannot close our eyes and say it's inclusion and that's all. No, they have specific needs, they have specific ability, and what is true, see that the technology is going very fast. So we have to be updated of every area. The family assessment, because a long time ago the family are not included in our teaching in our school. We have to be updated of the technology. We have to be updated of the psychology and so on. I think it's we are living really in a very, very interesting moment of the education change.
I can answer for both of us, attending from the same country, Turkey. We, of course, have a very diverse population. We have around 4 million Syrian refugees right now in Turkey, which are registered. We don't know how many exactly. So, of course, there is no discrimination. But, of course, they need to first get language lessons because our teachers don't speak Arabic. So there is a language barrier. So first they go to a governmental language class. They learn the language, and they attend both governmental and private schools as they like. The same goes as well as education and healthcare system. They take the same advantages as the native people living in the country. So I can't say that we have discrimination religion-wise or nation-wise. But what we do in our kindergarten is we prioritize girls. We encourage families to enroll their female children for early childhood education, because we really believe that when you educate a man, you educate a man, but when you educate a woman, you educate a family, a future family. So it's really very important for us to put that balance between boys and girls attending the same and getting the same education equally.
Also in our school, every child is welcome. We are a Catholic school, but we have 90% of them are Muslims, so it's a lot of. It's not easy to teach them the Catholic religion. We have. Also, I said it already, we have about 50 nationalities. We have rich people, we have poor people, the mainstream are poor people. We have a lot of refugees also in Belgium and Flanders. So I think it's just important that a child feels welcome. They need to be safe. We give them warmth. I think that's important because otherwise they can't learn anything. It's important to welcome them.
Thank you for your question. At AAJ in Jordan, for our school, for model of inclusion, this is a huge concern always for us. But for us, since we are in a disadvantaged area, so we have a kind of community with very few awareness or caring for disabilities at all. And I remember one event we did at the school through Johnny and Friends Association that they wanted to donate wheelchairs. And we don't have any database. We were newly established there. And when we spread it out, the word of mouth, we had 200 families asking for help. They were hidden all in their houses. And they have the culture of shame still in that far away area, which broke our hearts. We as a school, we had the step of faith to adopt one child, catering for him, 4 years old, Rashid, that we shared about, that he start walking, having his certificate. We believe, as my friends here said, we don't give up. We can make small changes. So we opened the school, and our dream to open the center with all the specialists that we have in the center to serve the local community. Okay, we can't welcome maybe all the children, and it's broken our heart, but we're planning to open our doors for local community. We open our playgrounds to make football clubs to gather all the youth in the area and make some sessions and awareness for them. Also, we're planning to have inclusive budgeting because, for example, in KG, we want to make clubs, after-school activities, and all the community there, we will not reject, can't afford it, but we will make it inclusive budget for them. Everyone was involved, and I hope that we can make the school budget inclusive to really provide all the needs without extra fees. Also, we're opening the school that all the specialists here with the learning aids or the shadow teacher that work with physical challenges or anything like that, we are helping other schools to duplicate the experience that we have with a very limited tuition and sometimes for free if it's for refugees or something like Al-Amal Center in the area beside or so on. And it's to share all the resources, the expertise, it's kind of, it's not only financial issue. Thank you again.
Very short answer. Our schools are free, especially public schools, kindergarten, of course, and primary, secondary schools also. There's no reason for children or for schools not to take certain children, except my type of school. The special schools are the only type of schools in Austria that are closed for children without disabilities, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm elsewhere tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay. Keeping my eye on the time, I need to close this session. I think the last question proposed was a really important one because it shows us what we also can understood from the last answers of all of our presenters, that each child needs to be loved and accepted the way he or she is, and all children have weaknesses and strengths. And so we should not just look for specific people like those with disabilities or those with migrant background, but we really should look a bit more on the individualized children themselves. I like to thank all of the presenters, all of the audience peoples. I hope you enjoyed the session. I think we got great experiences. We have a lot of schools shared with us, so thanks a lot for them, and thanks to Zero organizers for this lovely session. Thank you.